All right, welcome guys. This is DB reporting on the Birds. So a few things I want to get to, before we get started and continue talking about this team. Um, so report came out. Logan Ryan, cornerback for the Giants, questioning the Philadelphia Eagles' work ethic. Um, you know, I can't. I'm not gonna dispute this. It's hard honestly to disagree with Logan Ryan right now. There's a lot, there's a lot of things going on with this team, and whatever they're doing, it seems like week in, week out. They keep saying that they're putting all the work in practice, that they're executing the game plan that we're putting together in practice. It seems like we're doing a really good job executing the game plan and practicing really, really well. And you know, we end up putting up a doozy on the field every week. And so then we have Logan Ryan, cornerback of the Giants, come out and question our work ethic. Um, I didn't get into the full report. I'm not going to read the full report, especially when it comes to a rivalry player um, calling out a rival team. That's just not something that I'm going to get into. Um, it's been done plenty of times before over the years where rival players will call out each other. um, I do have a problem. I do have a problem with it, seeing as how, congratulations. We looked poor this past week. This game against you guys, against the New York Giants. So that's what I will say to Logan Ryan. But you let us come back 3 weeks prior with 5 minutes left to go, and win the game. So whose work ethic is stronger? Let's talk about that. I will say this. That's 2 weeks. That's for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks in a row. Not even 2 weeks in a row, because we had the bye week. 2 games in a row, back to back, where the offense just looked absolutely sloppy. We should have lost to Dallas. We probably should have lost to the Giants the first time. And we should have lost this week, and we did. So that's where the issue lies. I think Logan Ryan has a valid point. I think he has a valid point. I think that there is something wrong with work ethic. That might be the case. I think it's worth looking into. That guys might be disappointed. Guys might be affected by whatever's going on behind the scenes in Philadelphia. I think whatever it is, we got to get it corrected. I think that's the bigger problem. One of the other YouTube podcast guys that I follow, who talks about the Birds, is Lord Brunson, and this was something that I was thinking about the other day, especially with my video that I put up yesterday, which was more of a rant. But gotta let my emotions go when it comes to the Eagles looking so poor against the division rival, the Giants. But something that Lord Bronson brought up was Jeffrey Lurie needs to step in. And I say this because I think it's important. I think it's important that he does, especially if the reports about whatever Howie Roseman is doing, the disagreements that he's having with the coaches when it comes to player selection, which is something that I talked about and touched on yesterday. It's important that Jeffrey Lurie steps in. I think that the the Zach Ertz thing, like I talked about yesterday. It should have never been a public blow up in practice. If there were disputes, it should have been handled a little bit better and privately. That way, in case it did affect the team's morale going into the season, there were better chances for it not to. So that's what I want to say about all that. And Logan Ryan is a good cornerback. He was a late draft pick. He was a late draft pick and kind of made his way and did some great things during his career, and found himself into a starting role. And that reeks of someone who has a strong work ethic, and so someone who can speak to what it means to have a strong work ethic. And so regardless of the fact that he is a New York Giant, I think he may have some valid point. Because whatever we're putting out on the field is not cutting it. Whatever we're practicing during the week is not cutting it. Whatever game plan we're putting together, it's not cutting it. So we need to make some changes. Now, there's a couple things that I want to touch on that I think that possibly could put us in a better position moving forward. And it's something that Doug Peterson said a few weeks ago in a press conference. He mentioned that it's not like we can just line up and just go. I want to offer my 2 cents on this, because while he might be right, I think we have a better shot at lining up and just going with the emergence of Travis Fulgham. What does it mean to line up and just go? What are the ingredients to just line up and go and see how you match up against the other team by just lining your guys up at specific spots, and just doing it and just going and just doing your thing. What does that mean? What do you need? Well, I think it's similar to what we had in. I think what you need is something similar to what we had in 2017, which is a skill position tree that is built like a basketball team. And during that 2017 era, or that 2017 run, that season, that's how we were referenced a lot. We were built like a basketball team. We got guys that play above the numbers. Alshon, Zach Ertz, and then we had Torrey Smith, spreading the court, right? I think that it's worth a shot, right? With the emergence of Travis Fulgham, I think it's definitely worth a shot. You have him. What would it mean? You put him on one side. You have your fast slot guy, in Greg Ward, or not in Greg Ward, but in Jalen Reagor, and then you get you get John Hightower more involved, man. That is my one problem with this past week, and with the coaching staff decision and personnel decisions when it comes to game day in general. The one thing that we've been lacking is the deep threat, and I understand we're all excited about Jalen Reagor, and we want to see Jalen Reagor continue to progress. And I'm not saying take Jalen Reagor off the field. That's not what I'm saying. I don't even want to go there. But John Hightower has caught the majority of the deep balls this season for Carson Wentz. John Hightower gets open he just needs to work on his he just needs to work on his awareness or his rapport with Carson. And I think that the more that they develop the rapport together, with the combination of John Hightower getting open and also catching the deep balls, I think that will do nothing but be building blocks moving forward and be progressive moving forward for that guy. I don't think that you should take him off the field. I think it was a mistake to take him off the field. It's good to get Alshon Jeffrey back. Alshon Jeffrey looked, I guess he looked good. He looked a lot slimmer. If that's going to make him run faster, great. If it doesn't affect his catching ability, his ability to catch the ball, that's great. We need that from him. So what does it mean to line up and just go? You got your star wide receiver, you got your X, and then you got those other guys that I mentioned. And then every now and again, then you got your running back. You get your running back involved. Would it hurt at this point to try? Probably not. I mean, we're not scoring points. I was really excited after the Ravens game. I thought that we did a really, really good job. We put up a lot of points. We put up a lot of points in that Ravens game. Against a team that's arguably, one of the best defenses in the NFL. And so I thought that was progressive. I thought that was forward progress. We were building. But, we ran into roadblocks. Now, it seems like the media continues to want to play this game where they're trying to attack Doug's loyalty to Carson Wentz. And he was questioned about the draft day, the 2016 draft day trade, and Doug came out and supported Carson. I think what they're just trying to do right now is I think they're just trying to attack Doug. That's what I think that they're trying to do. I think Doug is falling apart. I think that he needs to get it together. It was great, listening to him on Angelo Cataldi, WIP, the morning show, the other day, where he showed some emotion. He showed some fire. I think that's what we need from him. I think that's what we need from him moving forward. So that was great to see. A few things I think that we need moving forward, getting better. We got to give Miles Sanders the ball. Got to get Boston Scott, Miles Sanders, got to get them more involved. They should have had 30 carries combined this past week with the way that they were running the ball. I think that the Jalen Hurts thing we got to diminish that a little bit. It's not working. When I brought up yesterday about Corey Clement getting the touchdown, I think that was more of an insinuation of me saying, oh, well, maybe we've got Corey Clement back and healthy again. Maybe we can get him rolling, and we can kind of leave Jalen Hurts off to the side. Whatever experiment they wanted that to be, it's not working anymore. And so the three-headed monster thing, the running back by committee thing, I think that we can do again because to be completely honest, I think Corey Clement is healthy. I think Boston Scott's obviously playing really well, and Miles Sanders is playing really, really well, as expected. So I think if we can find a way to get those guys going, that's the route to go. We got to play time of possession football at this point if we want to be successful. I'm worried about our next 5 games. But, let's start with this week. Let's start with the Browns. They have a very, very ferocious defensive line. Olivier Vernon, Myles Garrett, and the other few guys that they got on there. It's very, it's a ferocious line, and as far as the Browns offense is concerned, it doesn't look like OBJ is playing. I think pretty sure he's injured anyway. So, but Baker Mayfield seems to be playing adequately enough, and most importantly, the scary thing is that we need to really pay attention to is that that running game. Nick Chubb is no joke. And Kareem Hunt, we know what he can do from his days in Kansas City. So they're both of them together. They complement each other really well because Nick Chubb's more of a power runner, but has some of that elusivity to him. And, Kareem Hunt is a quick out of the break, scat back kind of guy. So they complement each other really well. And they're 6-3. They're moving the ball. They're getting things done. The offense is doing really well. They have some players on their defense too. So, we have to be. If we want to turn the season around, it's time. It's now. I'm worried that we won't be able to, but I don't doubt our chances in shock and awe, right? So, we'll see what happens. I still believe in Carson. I still think that he has. I still believe in Carson this season. I always believe in Carson. I believe Carson will turn it around. If it's not this season, he'll be great next season. But I still have faith that he will turn this season around, and we'll see some great play from him. No better week than this week to do that. So we need to get that going. The other thing I want to touch on is a little bit more of the defense. I think it's. I mean, this stuff has been beaten over the head. Time and time again. Davion Taylor looked great against the Ravens with the snaps that he got. Chased down Lamar Jackson on that one play. I think that he's more instinctual than TJ Edwards or Alex Singleton, and I think that putting him in the game wouldn't hurt anybody at this point. I'm not really sure what they're doing with Kayvon Wallace. Not really sure what they're doing with Will Parks. But I mean, we've got to get it. We've got to get it together. We've got to get it together. I think the defensive line. We've invested too much money in the defensive line for them to underperform like they did this past week, and I believe that they'll get it turned. I believe that they'll get that turned around. So, with that said, go Birds, and this is DB reporting on the Birds. Have a beautiful evening, guys.